Can somebody take billions of naira that belong to this country and go and keep him alone and his family?
President Muhammadu Buhari restates government's resolute commitment towards fighting corruption as he meets northern Christian leaders.
To create an all-inclusive internal advisory council on security.
New Group Managing Director, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, takes over instruments of authority. Reprieve for Governor Okezie Ikpeazu as the Federal High Court in Abuja grants him leave to argue stay of execution of order sacking him. Hello there, a warm welcome. This is NTA's Network News, reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria. I'm Rhoda Obo, and many thanks for joining us tonight. Workers in the Federal Capital Territory have resumed work after 3 days Eid al-Fitr holiday. Adebola Brooksling Sunday visited some public institutions and reports that most civil servants turned up promptly.
The influx of vehicles into the city center is an evidence of the expiration of the public holidays. As early as 8 o'clock in the morning, workers were converged on the Federal Secretariat for the day's job.
The government has given us the past 3 days as public holidays, so any responsible civil servant should be in the office. It has nothing to do being a Friday, and then you say, you take it off for the whole of the week. That is being unpatriotic.
At the phase 2 of the Secretariat, most workers were seen at their duty posts.
Phase 1 of the Federal Secretariat accommodates most civil servants, but there is a challenge which workers say is affecting their productivity.
There has been no light. That's just the position. So we're unable to, do our normal duties.
But in the meantime, we are appealing to the Abuja Disco to release electricity power to the Phase 1 Secretariat.
While some were at work, few were seen queuing for fuel, with some union members of Pengasin restricting workers at the NNPC from gaining entrance.
I'm supposed to be in the office, but I don't have petrol in my car. I need to get food. This is not panic buying.
It was observed that, unlike in the past, civil servants now show more dedication to duty. Adebola Brooksling Sunday, NTA News.
The federal government says nothing will be hidden from Nigerians in its resolute commitment towards fighting corruption, restoring the nation's economic fortune, and delivering prosperity. President Muhammadu Buhari, who stated this while receiving Northern Christian leaders' Eagle Eyes Forum, urged Nigerians not to lose hope in the unity, stability, and progress of the country. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has details.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who described as genuine concerns by Nigerians as regards the economic hardship, insecurity and joblessness, said everything possible is being done by his administration to stabilize the country. While promising not to hide anything from Nigerians, the president told the Christian leaders to always tell their followers the truth about the country, which is the only one they have. The federal government, he said, will continue to give priority attention to the safety of lives and property, as well as equipping farmers with the right technology, techniques, and other incentives to boost agriculture. President Buhari thanked members of the Eagle Eyes Forum for their support to the anti-corruption campaign, assuring them that those who stole public funds are regretting their actions and they will regret more. The chairman, Northern Christian Leaders Eagle Eyes Forum, Pastor Amin Chihabu, gives reasons for the organization's visit to the State House.
We have seen a president that have come to change the face of Nigeria. And we have seen a president who have come to alleviate the suffering of Nigeria. We have seen a president who have come to make us to have a sound sleep. Today, anywhere you go, you see even some that were not farming because they feel they were taking it cheap. Now they have gone back to farm. And now Nigeria is going back to its original root. The original root of Nigeria was agriculture. Everybody is rejoicing. And that's why we come to tell President we are happy.
On the fight against corruption, Pastor Amin Chihabu advised President Muhammadu Buhari to remain steadfast in the recovery of the nation's wealth from looters, whom he also said must be severely sanctioned to serve as deterrent to others.
How can somebody take billions of naira that belong to this country and go and keep him alone and his family? Nothing, the money is just there. And people if you go to his village, even his stepmother, his father, they are crying. So I thank God for this prison, for the step he's taking. That one encourages us. And he even encourages us that all of us, this country belongs to all of us. So we should support him in whatever we're doing. So we are proud of him.
The chairman of the Eagle Eyes Forum, Pastor Amin Chihabu, is optimistic that under the Buhari administration, a new, stable, united, prosperous and enviable Nigeria is certain. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The new leadership of the NNPC is to set up an all-inclusive internal advisory security council to tackle the myriad of security challenges facing the sector. The Advisory Security Council is comprising representatives from NNPC, oil companies, labor unions, host communities and security operatives. This came to light at the handover of instrument of authority to the new Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru in Abuja. Miogidi reports.
Though he headed the NNPC for just 11 months, Dr. Ibe Kachuku embarked on major reforms, which include restructuring of the corporation, creation of new entities, cutting operational costs by 30%, deregulation of the downstream sector, subsidy removal, which saves over 1.3 trillion naira yearly, revival of the 4 refineries, and monthly publication of the corporation finances. Beyond the success story lies the challenges, as he joined his successor, a first-class graduate of mechanical engineering, Dr. Mekanti Baru, to address the labor issues, the Niger Delta security situation, and increase production.
We need to look at the regulatory overhaul of the entire sector. There are lots of guidelines and there are lots of regulations that have not been touched in over 13, 20 years. We need to look at a total field space review and remodeling of enhanced production, whatever marginal fields. That by 2018, 60% of refined products importation will stop. And that by 2019, we must become a net exporter of refined petroleum products.
The new Group Managing Director, who until his appointment, technical assistant to the Minister of State Petroleum on Gas, seems prepared for the task ahead, as he unveiled a 12-point program for the sector. Prominent among were new business ideas, repair and expansion of pipelines, professionalism, stability in the supply of petroleum products in the country, and the security challenges facing the sector.
To create an all-inclusive internal advisory council on security, comprising representatives of NNPC, the IOCs, unions, and security operatives to brainstorm and come up with suggestions that will discuss security and host community agitations.
The new Group Managing Director promised to treat all staff equally, bearing in mind the carrot and stick approach. In Abuja, Mie Ogede, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Dr. Ibe Kachuku, and the new Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, have assured the public not to entertain any fear on the fuel situation in the country, as the federal government is engaging pengasing over the proposed strike by the union. Correspondent Mie Ogidi reports that they gave the assurance while addressing newsmen in Abuja.
I am sure we'll resolve the issues. I think most of the issues border on the insecurity of work for some of their members who have been laid off as a result of difficulties in the oil industry. There's a lot of strong balancing that's required. But we're engaging, and I'm sure with Dr. Baru now here, we'll all join that engagement. We're all members of a family, and somehow we know how to sort out our problems.
This strike is something that is being resolved. There is no need for them to stock products. The unions are on with us, and this thing will be resolved fairly quickly.
The federal government has urged the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASING, to call off its industrial strike in the interest of the nation. Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, made the call in Abuja. A statement by the ministry indicates that the minister expressed optimism that the negotiations scheduled for Monday, July 11, 2016 will afford all sides the opportunity to resolve issues that have led to the current situation in the greater interest of the nation. He further urged Nigerians to avoid panic buying of petroleum products. Meanwhile, the management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has cautioned the public from embarking on any form of panic buying of petroleum products in anticipation that the products will be scarce due to the ongoing strike by members of the Petroleum and National Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengasing. In a statement signed by the Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division of NNPC, Garba Dean Mohammed, the corporation says it has stocked enough product to satisfy local consumption required for the next 45 days. Motorists and other petroleum product users were therefore advised not to embark on fringed wholesale purchase. The statement said the corporation has started talks with the leadership of the Petroleum Industry Union to address their grievances. The management of the NNPC is also doing everything possible to sustain the prevailing sanity in the supply and distribution of petroleum products achieved by the recent downstream liberation policy. Now, the federal government says it will leverage on the capacity of advertisers in the country to complement the ongoing broadcast digitization process. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed stated this in a message at the opening of an international summit on advertising in Nigeria holding in Lagos. Anthony Forsing reports.
The summit is in line with deliberate moves by the Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria to develop a responsible marketing communication practice driven by a skilled and well-informed professional community that is up to date with global best practices. It is in line with this position that Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed, represented by the Director of Protocol and Public Relations in the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Peter Dama, said as the digitization of broadcasting in Nigeria progresses smoothly, advertisers must key into the process.
As stakeholders in the advertising industry, I would want to call on you all to assist the government in creating awareness about the digital migration going on in this country as we are now set to meet the June 2017 ITU deadline.
While commending APCON for hosting the summit, the minister was quick to remind the practitioners that their passion must go beyond building successful brands, but also protect the well-being of members of the society. Registrar and Chief Executive of APCON, Garba Bello Kankarofi, said the summit is aimed at showcasing the advances made and emerging trends in marketing communication practice.
The summit is an important milestone in the development of advertising practice and regulation in Nigeria, so as to ensure responsible marketing communications that protect the rights and well-being of consumers and the general public while delivering value to marketers of brands and products.
There were goodwill messages from key stakeholders who showered encomium on APCON for the feat it has attained so far. In Lagos, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
We turn our attention now to security, where President Muhammadu Buhari has directed troops in the northeast to move into the next phase of Operation Lafia Dole with a resolve to achieving a total defeat of terrorists. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tukuru Buratai delivered the message to the troops at the 7th Brigade Multinational Joint Task Force in Kagawa, Borno State. Defense correspondent Muhammad Abdul Kadri reports.
NTA News.
Meanwhile, Air Component of Operation Lafia Dole has been charged not to compromise the territorial integrity of the nation for whatever reason, but ensure the regained territories are fully maintained. Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar gave the charge during an operational tour of the Northeast. Defense correspondent KG Busari Ahmed reports.
The air chief, who was on an operational visit to Eola and Maiduguri, had time out with the troops.
We have made it abundantly clear that the Nigerian Air Force will do everything humanly possible to make
Northeast to an end within the shortest possible time. From the Nigerian Air Force Base in Yola, KG Busari Ahmed, NTA News.
The wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has donated food items to women and other vulnerable groups in Kano State to cushion the effect of their hardship. Aliyu Kabir reports.
The wife of the president was received at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport by the governor of Kano State and his wife, Dr. Hafsat Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, and moved to the venue of the event. The items donated include rice, couscous, macaroni and spaghetti, as well as wheat flour, sugar and salt. Presenting the items to the wife of the governor for onward distribution to the beneficiaries, the wife of the president urged them to use the materials judiciously, adding that she remains committed to improving their living standard.
I'm here in Kano today to celebrate with the beautiful women of Kano State, and also to present a small token, a Salah gift. We have 14,000 of different assorted products. Thank you very much for all the support from the beginning of my husband's campaign. For the past 12 years up to today, I'm here standing before you as a wife of the President of Nigeria. Thank you very much for all the support.
The wife of the governor appreciated the gesture, adding that a committee will be inaugurated to ensure fairness in the distribution of the items.
We are grateful, and indeed, those that are meant to enjoy these items, by God, they are going to get it.
While at the Emir's palace, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, Mrs. Buhari told the Emir of her readiness to continue championing the cause of women and children. The wife of the president commended the Emir for his exemplary leadership and seek for his continued support to achieve her set target. The Emir promised her of his commitment at all times. He also called on the relevant authorities to take it seriously, the issue of women and children's right for the promotion of their well-being. Mrs. Buhari paid a visit to Kano Central Prison, where she donated drugs comprising antibiotics and anti-malaria worth over 6 million naira for the improvement of the health of the inmates. She urged them to consider prison as a reformatory center.
Something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Facility now secure.
Finally, you are most welcome.
You said it's an emergency.
Our works here have just been confirmed. MTN Pulse is back.
Did you know yet?
Unfortunately, that is precisely the case. In fact, they have already started to showcase themselves to the fullest maximum. Now, we try so much to keep them in check, but then they are always one step in our future. Now, it didn't matter whether they are cool or they are not cool. What's really matters is that they are having a network that permits them to showcase the character that they truly have. I'm so sorry, but this you cannot purchase in the market.
We must stop them.
I'm afraid to be the carrier of a bad news, but it's already late.
Facility security breach.
I think we've lost the war. CSO, what are you doing?
You mean myself? I'm moving to MTN Pulse with immediate effect.
How?
Towards a Greater Nigeria Foundation, the Fountain of Life, in collaboration with NTA and other media stations, present the National Reawakening Summit with the theme National Reawakening and Value Quest, the Change for a Greater Nigeria. Special guest of honor, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. Guest of honor, Lai Mohammed, Honorable Minister of Information and Culture. Host Governor, Akinwumi Ambode, Governor, Lagos State. Keynote Speaker, Patrick Ayigbunam from Chicago, Illinois. Chairman of event, His Excellency Donald Duke. Former Governor, Cross River State. Chairman of the panel, Aigboje Aigi Mokwede, President of Nigerian Stock Exchange. Other speakers are Professor Oyewale Tomori, Erelu Bisifayemi, Captain Aliyu Umar Babangida, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, Nimi Etonye. Date is Tuesday, 12th July 2016. Time 10 a.m. at the Fountain of Life Auditorium in Ilupeju, Lagos. Together, let's unite to build a greater Nigeria where peace, justice, and progress shall reign. Don't miss it. Announcer Omotayo Omotosho, MFR.
Glow is in the air. It's data. It's what you use every time you download music. It's what streams movies. It's what the banks use to check your account. It's the very lifeblood of modern living. Data. And where does it all come from? According to industry sources, more and more of it came from here. they acknowledge that Glo is now the largest data network in Nigeria. With their own Glo One submarine cable linked seamlessly to tens of thousands of kilometers with their own fiber optic cable, Glo can provide huge data capacity anywhere at a more flexible and affordable price than anyone. It's simple. So you see, Glo is in the air. It's everywhere. Say hello to the Grandmaster.
Enjoy our new data overload. Double your data on every plan, like 6 gigabytes for 2,000 naira, 12 gigabytes for 3,000 naira, and 24 gigabytes for 5,000 naira. Dial *777# to select a plan. The largest data network. Glo, Grandmasters of Data. M5 Plus with a 50-20 milliampere battery that lets you play for up to 3 days on a single charge. Gioni M5 Plus, always in power.
Smart Speedo from Airtel brings you up to 200% more data. 1,000 naira gets you 1.5 gigabytes. 2,000 naira gets you 3.5 gigabytes. 2,500 naira gets you 5 gigabytes. And 3,500 naira gets you 7 gigabytes of real quality data. Dial *141# to enjoy real data on Smart Speedo.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the network news on the NTA. Governor Victor Okezie-Ikpeazu of Abia State has now been granted leave to argue for the stay of execution of order sacking him as governor before the Court of Appeal. This follows a ruling by Justice Okon Abang of the Federal High Court in Abuja. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewo has details.
For 7 hours, Justice Okon Abang treated various applications for the stay of execution of his order and for the setting aside of the certificate of return that was issued to Dr. Ikechukwu Oga.
Submitted to the Court of Appeal, and that we are pursuing our client's appeal at the Court of Appeal. I think it's as simple as that. And by the grace of God, I believe that the Court of Appeal will take the matter expeditiously.
Because there is a motion and the appeal has been entered in the Court of Appeal, both parties should go there and pursue that aspect. But you will remember that that was a point of disagreement in our argument, that there was a new dimension to it because of the abuse process. But good enough, in the other cases that came, the issue became very narrowed down and settled that the stay cannot be granted.
No date has been fixed for the argument at the Court of Appeal. In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
A solidarity rally to promote anti-corruption campaign of President Muhammadu Buhari has been held in Ekiti. The event, which was organized by the state chapter of the All Progressives Congress, APC, was attended by supporters from 16 local government areas of the state. Kola Adeboboy reports.
Aside members of the All Progressives Congress, APC, lovers of democracy and good governance.
Drugs and crime shows that many Nigerian youth are exposed to drugs. Speakers on the program believe that aside from focusing on supply reduction and treatment, the role of the family in the current prevention campaign is key.
And ensure that, especially at home, it has to start from home, and from the government angle, we must create alternatives.
The role that family plays, the role that the school community plays, and the role that the community at large can play in the life of a child to grow up healthy and not engage into drug use.
They also identified the need for government to prioritize the issue of drug abuse and make efforts towards effective implementation of the Nigerian's 4-year drug master plan.
Federal Ministry of Health, they are expected as well to regulate the availability and affordability of the illicit drugs and some of the narcotics so need for medicinal use. And I think the other area that they equally need to look into is the issue of the chaotic dispensing nature of drugs in the country.
There is a huge demand, and so these demand reduction activities will point all society to the fact that really drugs have actually entered into our existence, and drugs have affected our lives in different ways.
Check our budget. We don't have 10% of what they require to fight the drugs. Those who have over 200%, they have not won the battle. How about you with less than 10% of what you need?
Other issues such as intelligence sharing among relevant organizations, promoting community engagement and involvement, as well as creating more rehabilitation centers were cited as factors that would help achieve success in Nigeria's fight against drug abuse. In Abuja, Aisha Obali, NTA News.
The withdrawal of the World Bank from funding programs and projects of HIV/AIDS in Nigeria come February 2017 is no longer news, but how to sustain the program after the deadline. Mohammed Sahid Abubakar reports that the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, was in Yola in its resolve to find a way to not only sustain the program, but also to enhance it.
The 5-day working visit to Abia State gave the officials of the National Agency for the Control of AIDS the opportunity to inspect some facilities, visit the 4-line ministries and other stakeholders with a view to collaborating for effective results. During the visit, the team identified some challenges which include weak referral plans. As a result, patients are not rechecked after being referred to, and lack of coordinated resource mobilization, among others. Briefing stakeholders at the end of the supportive supervisory visit to the state, the team leader Doris Eke urged state and federal governments to come together with a view to sustaining the program after the World Bank withdrawal.
Anything that is not documented is regarded as invalid, because you cannot tell me that you canceled 20 pregnant women and you were asked, where is the documentation? It's not available.
The Executive Secretary, State Agency for the Control of AIDS, represented by the Programs Manager of the agency, Dr. Chibadu Abubakar, described the supervisory visit as important because the state stands to gain. In Yola, Muhammad Saidu, NTA News.
A special patrol operation held in
on drivers and the check on tires. The head public relations of the Federal Road Safety Corps, BC Kazim, said the exercise is effective with the deployment of over 20,000 personnel and standard facilities to ensure that the zero road crash ambition of the Corps is achieved.
500 patrol vehicles have been deployed for these operations, 85 motorbikes, 50 ambulances and 15 tow trucks, so as to make sure that we control traffic.
The Lagos State Sector Commander Hajinus Omeje noted with delight the cooperation of motorists with officials of the Corps.
When we started, we know people were leaving Lagos en masse. Now they are coming back en masse. We also have to ensure that we monitor the road appropriately.
Some motorists described the exercise as needful and called for its sustenance.
It's not good for the drivers to go with alcoholic drink. So I'm tested and I'm free.
I'm advised all drivers to say anybody you can drive, don't drink before you drive.
The special patrol is aimed at bringing road traffic crashes to zero level across the country. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
We apologize for the earlier hitch. Now, after 35 years of meritorious service as Director General of the Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, Adewale Ajibade Peters has bowed out in a blaze of glory. Family, friends, management and staff defied the downpour that characterized the day in Lagos to honor one of their own. Tunde Saiki has more on this.
Ajibade Peters was for 8 years the Director General of the college. During his tenure, Organizers of the event say it brought tremendous progress to the institution, especially in the area of infrastructural development.
He simply deserves every bit of accolades and exaltation that can be accorded him. The list of his achievements is legendary.
Other guests described the retired Director General as a bridge builder who carried everyone along irrespective of grade level or hierarchy.
For me today to hear that Mr. Peters is leaving ASCON is a personal loss to me because he had inspired me and has been psychologically my support as director of Nigeria French Language Village.
I've worked closely with the wife, and it is very important to highlight the highest degree of humility in our outgoing DG.
Students and pupils from the ASCON Staff School did not leave anyone in doubt about their talent as they entertained with various performances. Gifts poured in from different organizations and individuals for the man at the center of it all. In his response, Ajibade Peters said ASCON as an institution must be given the necessary support by all if the reason for its establishment must be realized. He said First Baptist Church, Badagry, the retired DG and his family. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
Thank you, Tunde. And now to business. Don't panic over change of management. Chairman Board of Directors, Skybank PLC, Mohammed Ahmed, tells shareholders as Speaker House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara unveils plans to deepen the nation's capital market. Amechi Pius has details on a business news segment.
A warm welcome to Business News and thanks for joining us. The new management of Skybank PLC has assured stakeholders of the bank of its determination to reposition in the financial institution.
The profit. And I believe as a responsible government will have to develop a mechanism through which, even if it is not all the profit that they make that is distributed to the stakeholders, most of whom are Nigerians, at least a reasonable pie of the profit is shared to our people.
The Bank of Industry BOI Youth Entrepreneurship Summit is a social platform to assisting entrepreneurs with access to finance, level playing fields, and skills to developing their businesses. The event, scheduled for Tuesday, the 12th of July 2016 at the Eko Hotel in Lagos, will attract owners of small businesses, experts in food and technology. Mr. Indiana Matthew, in an interview with Business News, spoke on the benefits of the event.
The theme for this summit is Nigeria Beyond Oil Free Expo. The expo is free, and we're calling on all the youths who are available in the Lagos area can make it in to come in to have a paradigm shift and a mind revolution. I'd like to thank the Bank of Industry for being large-hearted enough to support the Youth Entrepreneurship Summit. Delegates and youths all across Nigeria can expect to find out about their laudable programs like the Youth Entrepreneurship Support Program, the YES program, and the Empower program. You can also register at our event online. There'll be free laptops. A lot of people, for instance, would have barriers in filling out those online forms, and they're going to be coaches, they're going to be support staff that would help the young people, to fill these forms to be able to access loans. And they will learn also from the sessions.
And that's Business News. Thanks for watching. The news continues shortly. Good evening.
Thanks, Amechi. If you're just joining us, you're watching the NTA Network News from the Lagos Network Center. We have more reports ahead on the news from Abuja when we return after this timeout. Stay tuned.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you.
This is after 3 days, consult your doctor. Cold-time anti-cold tablet, a quality product from Embassy Pharmaceutical and Chemicals Limited. Cold-time anti-cold tablet, your visa to healthy living.
Finally, our first gig. The whole school is here. And that's when I spotted my secret muse. That was awful. I froze. I couldn't move. Fruity Fanta.
Fanta! Great flavors. Play it better with Fanta.
Welcome back. With a 30-day Ramadan fast over, believers who are capable should follow up with a 6-day non-obligatory fast in this month of Shawwal, which is the 10th in the Islamic calendar, the reward which is equivalent to fasting the entire year. The Imam of the Legislative Quarters Jamaat Mosque and Abuja, Ustaz Nuru Muhammad Khalid, stated this in a sermon at today's Friday prayers. Abdullahi Musa Suleja has details.
The period of Ramadan is described by scholars as a time when the entire body and soul undergo training of sort to change the behavior of a believer for the better. Ustaz Khalid said even though the Ramadan has come and gone, there are a number of acts that Muslims can continue to make it remain fresh in their memory. The Imam said while the period teaches love, sharing, caring and forgiveness among other virtues, believers must continue with these for the society to develop and peace continue to prevail.
We don't have the month in our midst, but we have all the teachings learned from Ramadan. The Quran is still in our midst. Why can't we practicalize the teachings of the Quran? If we understand that the month of fasting is no more, but we can still fast, and we can also sacrifice as we learned. We love as we learned in the month of Ramadan. We share as we did in the month of Ramadan. We care as we did in the month of Ramadan. Then we revive the month of Ramadan.
The Imam said the Sitatul Shawwal fast, 6 days in the month of Shawwal, can be done at once or staggered, but all within the month. Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
We'll take our last break for tonight. When we return, global tidbits and sports.
A hectic lifestyle or overeating can cause a burning pain in your chest. That's heartburn. Take Gaviscon. One dose relieves in 3 minutes to soothe the pain of heartburn. It goes straight to the source to work for hours, providing long-lasting relief.
That's why I recommend Gaviscon.
I recommend Gaviscon. Gaviscon, fast relief you can actually feel.
If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor.
Of fake drugs and unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Thanks for being there. We'll join Chimdimma Undebisi for stories from the foreign scene.
Gambian president has abolished child marriage. President Yahya Jammeh announced that anyone who marries a girl under 18 years will face 20 years jail term and parents of the girl 21 years in prison. He urged the parliament to form a legislation in this regard. Human rights groups and civil society organizations have applauded the move, calling on other African countries to do so. And Indian Prime Minister on the second day of his 4-nation tour of the African continent to deepen bilateral ties has arrived South Africa. Forging better long-term partnership in trade and security are areas of interest for the parties. In South Sudan, President Salva Kiir has released a statement saying the clash between soldiers loyal to him and the vice president, which left 5 soldiers dead, was not pre-planned. The clash is the first since the National Unity Government was formed. In another development, United States President Barack Obama, after meeting with European Council and Commission presidents, said United Kingdom's exit from the European Union does not mean the end of its contribution to EU security cooperation. That's Global Tidbits. Chimdemma Ndubisi, NTA News.
Fisayo Gunfuyi has the latest in the world of sports.
Nigeria's sprint queen Blessing Okagbore claimed her 7th national title as she won the women's 100 meters event in 11.02 seconds at the ongoing All-Nigeria Championship in Sapele, Delta State. Okagbore, who is one of Nigeria's medal...
We say thank you.